This is the story of a boy who went through the worst misfortunes and prayed. Oh, did he pray? Every day and with strength until yes. Someone heard him and came to his aid to save him. Stay with me and I'll share an amazing story. I promise I won't let you down because I am El Documentalista. And this is Lucifer Heard My Prayers. It all started with Arturo Mayer, 11 years old. The wounds on his neck and face did not go unnoticed by the good principal, Spencer from El Nuevo Colegio de los Altos in California. That winter of 2006, they called in the mother. Terrible mistake. When the lady arrived, they quickly saw she was very different from the boy. The woman weighed 150 kilos and was almost 2 meters tall, while the boy was extremely thin. The mother didn't even let the principal speak and arrogantly said, "My son is troublesome, just like his father was. May he rest in peace. Troublesome." I was raised with a firm hand and turned out just fine, very straight. I have walked the path of the Lord. So if you called me because of the marks from the beatings, don't even bother talking. And you can take your pedagogy and shove it where you know. Leave me alone. He's my son and I can do what I want with him. I know my rights, principal. Don't think that with that little suit and your airs of a university man, you're going to tell me how to discipline him. I'd rather beat him with a belt than have him turn out like his father. May God have him in his glory. The boy has a birthmark with a 666 on his left arm. I should have burned him at birth. But I'm going to get all the evil out of him my way. You'll see. Director Spencer took a deep breath, counted to 10, and replied in a calm tone, "No, no, no. I know you're new in town, and I just spoke with my colleague from your son's previous school. You don't need to repeat everything he said about your senseless religious fanaticism. But what caught my attention the most is that Arturo Bueno, my colleague, says, this isn't the first time you've done what you did. Do you understand now why I called you? I'm a person of faith, Mrs. Mayer, but I also believe in what I see. And the security cameras don't lie, but maybe you have something to clarify for us?" The woman shed a heavy tear and clenched her fists. Then, with her teeth clenched, she said, "Nothing to clarify. My son, I don't know how he does it, but he just does. He's the spawn of evil. You'll see how I'm going to hit you when we get home." The principal stood up abruptly, turned the monitor around, and showed the lady the footage from the security cameras. And raising his voice, he confronted her, saying, "Look, there is your son sitting in class. You see him staring into space, as if he were absent. And this one here, at the same time, exactly at the same time, is your son too. Kneeling in the library's dark halls, praying with that black book. Am I supposed to believe Arturo can bilocate? That he can be in two places at the same time? Come on, just say it. Are they twins, identical? Or whatever. Speak up. Look, I've seen strange things. Come on, just say it already. What the hell is going on here?" The woman looked at the monitor. Her face turned red, and with indignation she pointed at the screen and replied, "Look again at all the cameras. This one in the playground, over there in the corner, behind those kids, at exactly the same time, is also my son Arturo. Do you see him? Are you going to tell me they're triplets? Now I'm telling you he's the devil, but I'm going to beat this out of him. When we get home, I'm going to deal with him." And turning around, she left, slamming the door as she went to look for her son. But after taking 5 steps, she suddenly stopped and collapsed heavily to the floor. The paramedics arrived quickly. However, the woman died of a heart attack. Right there, social services looked for the boy to take him to the orphanage. The boy didn't even say a word. Director Spencer accompanied him and saw the doctor's horrified reaction when he examined him. The boy had terrible scars on his back, scratches, whip marks, and many burns on his left arm. However, there was no birthmark with the number 666. Old-minded woman, thought the director. And looking at Arturo tenderly, he said, I need you to tell me where your siblings are. But he couldn't even get Arturo to look at him. The next day, the orphanage reported that the boy had run away and disappeared without a trace. Spencer turned on the monitor and started watching the cameras, suspecting that the boy might return there, and to his surprise, he found him right away. He went down the stairs, walked through the dark hallways to the old library, and caught him there. Without making a sound, he hid behind the shelves and watched him. Arturo was kneeling next to a thick black book, praying. There was no doubt it was him, but he wasn't beaten. He had no scars. Nothing! That wasn't possible. Just yesterday I had seen him covered in marks. The principal got scared. The boy wasn't alone. Heavy footsteps indicated that someone else was in that place. And then a tall man appeared. With a pointed black beard, dressed in strict black and wearing a wide-brimmed hat. He walked up to Arturo, wearing riding boots and silver spurs that shone in the dim light. The boy quickly stood and hugged him, saying, "You came back for me just like you promised." The stranger held him in his arms and smiled. Then he gently set him aside and said in a loud voice, "You, the one hiding behind the books, come out." Immediately the lights in the library went out all at once. Director Spencer wanted to run to the boy, grab him, and get out of there, but when he turned around, he came face to face with the man in the hat. Then, finding himself cornered, he stood up straight and walked decisively toward him. He said to him, "I'm the principal of this school, and you can't be here. Come with me outside. I assure you it's not in your best interest to mess with me." But the stranger's eyes lit up red, and the heavy black book flew open at Spencer's feet, making him stumble back. A gentle wind flipped through the yellowed pages until it stopped at an illustration. It was old, some witches dancing in the forest and worshipping the demon. An image identical to that of the bearded man, who immediately said to him in a thunderous voice, "Do you know who I am?" "Did I see my name?" The director took the book and read the title of the drawing, "The Witch's Sabbath of Lucifer." Then he said, trembling, "Are you him? Are you Lucifer?" "This isn't happening. I'm going to leave. The boy will take me. This isn't happening." But Lucifer placed his hand on the principal's forehead and said, "See for yourself." Then Spencer went into a trance, and as if in a vivid dream, he saw everything. He watched and felt how every night and day Arturo's mother whipped him cruelly with her belt. So for years, he saw him running over and over again, hiding from the woman who chased him in a frenzy. And the principal cried inconsolably because Arturo was just a little boy trying to escape, desperate to save himself from punishment. Then he heard him pray. Every night he begged with a voice broken by anguish, "Please, someone help me, someone answer. Save me from her. My mother is going to kill me." And as if it were a never-ending movie, the obese woman, red with hatred, would enter the room and drag him across the floor by his hair. Then Spencer saw another scene. The boy was asleep, sick, shivering with fever from the beatings at the foot of his bed. She appeared. Lucifer, he left the black book in his hands and said to him, "Do you know who I am?" "Am I?" "The sick boy?" He replied, "You're the one who heard my prayers, right?" "Are you going to save me from her?" Lucifer told him, "Read and study the book. When you're ready, you'll be so powerful that you can crush her just by wishing it. Then I'll come back." Spencer remained in a trance and saw how Arturo was secretly reading that book. How did he learn to draw symbols on the walls and recite ancient spells? How did he become so powerful that the trees bowed before him and the winds obeyed him? He never used his knowledge against his mother, refusing to hurt her despite fear and beatings. Then Spencer knew. The boy was good, absolutely good, and he had found in the book an extreme solution, reserved only for masters of witchcraft. He would slip out during stormy nights, find a mud puddle, drop some blood in, and pray in a language neither Spencer nor the mud understood. There, under the rain and lightning, an exact copy of Arturo would emerge, a copy without a soul, one that felt no pain, no sadness, nor hunger. One ready to take all the lashes and blows from his deranged mother without suffering the consequences. The copies didn't live very long, a week or two, and then they would dissolve into particles of dust, leaving no trace behind. So Arturo had to wait for the next storm to create more. The visions ended when Lucifer removed his hand from the director's forehead, who fell to his knees screaming and saying, "Poor boy, poor boy." And looking at the demon with fear, he asked him, "Have you come to take him away? Hasn't he suffered enough? Take me, let the boy go." Lucifer's red eyes grew more intense, and the screams of horror from millions of souls in hell tormented the director. The demon seized his neck, lifted him with one hand, and said, "Are you sure? Are you willing to take the place of this child you barely know? Will you sacrifice yourself for him?" Spencer answered without hesitation, "Yes, take me instead. Don't hurt him. He's already suffered too much. He's just a little boy." Lucifer let him go and, pretending to be offended, said to him, "Hurt him? Me? I know you, Spencer. Do you think you're here by chance? I know you fought in Afghanistan with the army and saw what men can do to each other. The explosions, the gunfire, the horror, none of that was my fault. For decades, I've just sat and watched what you all do. I don't need to intervene much. You kill each other for money, for land, even in the name of our Father who is above. Of all the creatures created by him, I never imagined that men would be the most cruel. Do you think this child's mother was praying to me? Oh, do you think your general, the one who ordered the bombing of the refugee camp, worshipped me? Neither did she, but you did pray, remember? Did you get tired of my father's indifference? You watched those women cry, clinging to their children in Afghanistan, about to become fire and ashes, and you prayed. You said, if anyone can hear my plea, help me evacuate this place before the bombs fall. Didn't you ask God for it? Oh, no. Well, I heard you. Yes, it was me. I was wandering through the sands when your prayer came through the winds. And didn't I stop the bombing of the refugees? I'm watching you closely. Since then, I had to leave the army, become a teacher, and now you have to return the favor I did for you. You see, this boy Arturo is special. Look at him. He's very special. He was born with a mark that you humans attribute to me. Unfaithful, superstitious people. It's just a mole with a strange shape. I have nothing to do with it. But they always like to blame me. That way, they feel free of responsibility. Spencer looked at Arturo, who was shivering from the cold. He quickly took off his coat and covered him. At that moment, he saw his arm. The mole with the 666 mark was there. Then he looked at Lucifer and said, "What do you want from me?" "I'm just a man, but I'm not stupid. I know the story. I know you were a powerful angel, God's favorite, and now you only represent evil. I don't see how I can be of any use to you." Lucifer smiled, looked at the boy and exclaimed, "Humans, if only you knew the secrets of my Father who is in heaven." and raising his right hand to place it on his forehead, he said, "Sleep." The boy immediately closed his eyes and remained motionless. Then Lucifer said to Spencer, "When I have left here, Arturo will wake up with no memory at all. Nothing of the horror he lived through. He won't even remember me. Nothing. But I want you to stay by his side and never be separated. From this day on, don't worry. There is a judge who will come to visit you soon. He owes me favors and will handle the child's adoption for you, but you need to know the truth. His mother, well, she's not the only crazy one who saw the mark." The woman visited all regional religious groups, claiming her son was the chosen one who would destroy the world. Unfortunately, one of those groups is a terrible cult, one protected by the church. Called the Hunters of Yahweh, they are obsessed with the Antichrist and are slaves to an ancient prophecy. They believe they have the divine mission to eliminate them. All the marked ones will do it. In 2 years, by Christmas 2008, when Arturo turns 13, they will come, they will capture him, torture him, and end up killing him in a ritual. I don't want you confused. This cult took their work very seriously, and they've been doing what they do for over 600 years. They have become very powerful, and they carry a sacred relic that prevents me from getting close to them. Do you see why I gave the book to the boy? I was hoping he would be the one to kill them all himself as soon as those fanatics walk through the door. But Arturo refuses to hurt anyone. He didn't even do it with that crazy mother. So you'll take care of him, you'll learn from the book, and you'll have enough power to face them, or else both of you are going to be killed. And truly I tell you that Yahweh's hunters are specialists in slow and painful deaths. The principal looked at the little one and, moved, said to Lucifer, "I will never let them hurt this boy. We will leave this place and I will never mention your name again, nor will I use any book that bears your seal. And this boy will grow up with love, far from hatred and revenge. No one will die or kill. If you want to settle the score with those sects, you'll have to do it yourself. I saw what war does to people, and it doesn't solve anything. It will only bring more hatred, and love won't win." This time, Lucifer said sarcastically, "Love? In the end, are we talking about the same thing? Of course, love is my favorite weapon. You'll see." And saying this, he disappeared. Immediately, Arturo opened his eyes and, frightened, asked who it was and how they had gotten there. But he looked at Spencer and calmed down. He walked over to him and, taking his hand, begged him, "Don't let go of me, please. Don't leave me alone. I don't remember my name. Can you help me?" As Lucifer expected, a few weeks later the judge arrived with the adoption papers. Spencer signed immediately. The boy remembered nothing of his past, but the director had seen everything and dedicated every second of his life to giving the boy happiness and affection. It wasn't hard. Arturo always smiled and was kind and grateful. To such an extent that soon Spencer came to think that running into Lucifer that time was the best thing that had ever happened to him. It wasn't long before he sold the house and used the money to buy a cabin in the woods. Pure, hidden, and distant, so no one with bad intentions could find them. 2007 was the best year surrounded by nature. Their bond became even stronger, and the boy called him Dad for the first time. That filled Spencer's heart, but at the same time a dark thought crossed his mind. In the man's room, the only locked drawer was the one that held the black book. And after each day of happiness, after watching the boy fall asleep in peace and tranquility, Spencer felt tempted to read it. That idea wouldn't let him sleep. And what if the people from the cult come and find us? He thought about it over and over, but then he calmed himself with the idea that his love for his son would eventually overcome any evil. 2008 arrived, and when Arturo turned 13, he noticed it. Something in his adoptive father had changed. His arms were full of affection, but also of concern. Spencer rarely slept and would spend hours in the woods. Days before Christmas, everything got worse. The storms and lightning made the windows of the house shake, but nothing kept the man from being out there. Arturo would naturally ask why he went into the woods with that black book and returned with his hands cut. But Father would answer, "I go out to read, son. I need to read. I'm gonna leave it. Nothing bad will happen to you. Don't worry." However, Christmas night came, and as you can imagine, the sect of Yahweh's hunters found them. They surrounded the cabin with torches and ancient hand-forged swords. There were more than 30 men dressed in red robes. Their leader, an old albino man, shouted, "Open the door! We have come for the marked child. Open in the name of God!" Arturo got scared and hugged Spencer. He calmed him down by saying, "Son, stay here. No matter what you see, just trust me." His son replied, "Yes, Dad." Then the man smiled, opened the door, and left, closing it behind him. All the members of the sect suddenly stepped back, shouting in fear, "Wizard, be careful, we have a wizard in sight!" And they drew their swords. The fear was understandable. Spencer's eyes were completely red, and the surrounding trees bent in his presence. The albino shouted at him, "Listen to me, sorcerer. Didn't your master Lucifer tell you who we are? The hatred in your heart won't stop us." But Spencer replied, "You are the ones who don't understand. It's not hatred that will make me do this to you, but the love I feel for my son. Every spell in the book, every incantation, everything I learned was for love." And raising his hands to the wind, he spoke some words. "I call you blood brothers, and you will listen to my word, which in Romanian means I love you, blood brothers, and you obey my word." From the depths of the forest, the cry of many was heard responding, "At your command, my lord." The albino said, "Clay copies, blood in sight, get ready." And the members of the sect grouped themselves in fours, but they never expected to see so many. Dozens of men, identical to Spencer. But without a soul, without feeling fear or pain, they came out of the trees armed with wooden spears and attacked them. The conjured winds covered the battle with dirt and dry leaves. Only the cultists' terrified screams echoed as they were pierced through. When victory seemed certain, the albino pulled a small glass vial from his clothes. Inside was a human eye floating in oils. He opened it and let the eye drop into his hands. Then he lifted it up, and immediately the winds calmed, and the bent trees returned to their upright position. The flaming swords were extinguished, and all the soulless copies dissolved into particles. Without the cloud of dirt and leaves, they saw the aftermath of the battle. 20 human bodies with spears stuck in them, and the 10 remaining cultists regrouped next to the leader. Spencer felt his powers leaving his body. He tried to say other spells, but nothing worked. The albino, laughing, said, "We have the relic of our order from 600 years ago. We're not amateurs." This eye belonged to the man born blind from Jerusalem, the one whom Jesus himself healed using saliva and mud. No demonic power works when I have it in my hand. And on his command, one of the men ran toward Spencer and stabbed him in the stomach with a sword. 2 others grabbed him by the feet and, breaking down the door, dragged him into the cabin. The albino caught the boy and they tied him to one of the chairs. Arturo was crying and screaming for his father. Spencer, badly wounded, was bleeding out on the floor next to the fireplace and was begging them not to hurt his son. But the leader, holding the relic in one hand, took a sacramental dagger with the other and crouched down to show Spencer. he told him with satisfaction. We are the hunters of Yahweh, and, as you can see, we do what we do. Every one of those marked with 666 must die without exception. First, I'll make him confess. I'll put a sword in the fireplace, and when it's red hot, I'm going to melt his eyes. Then I'll stab him through the chest in front of you and rip out his heart. I want you to see that your witch tricks killed 20 good men of God. Not at all, Spencer whispered to him. Come closer. I don't have the strength to tell you that you've given me a good idea. The albino smiled and came closer to hear better, but in a quick movement, Spencer snatched the Jerusalem blind man's eye from his hand and threw it into the fireplace where the ancient relic melted. Immediately, Glider became furious, stabbed him twice in the chest, spat on him and said, I hope you don't die before your son. Don't fade away yet. Listen to him scream. And saying this, he walked straight to the boy, ready to cut him. Arturo wept for his late father and said to him,
I love you, Dad. Please get up, Dad. Help me, Daddy.
The albino couldn't believe what he was seeing. Spencer was trying to stand up, slipping in his own blood, but he kept trying until he managed it for a moment, although he fell heavily to his knees. This is the end, he thought, and at that moment he knew it. He'd do anything for that boy. With a weak and broken voice, he pleaded, If anyone can hear my plea, please help me! Without strength, he collapsed. Everything went black, and he prepared to die, leaving this world with a smile. Why? Why? Without the relic that prevented it, Lucifer heard the prayer and he came to her aid. The heavy footsteps made the floors of the cabin shake. He entered, looked at the tied-up boy, and with a thunderous voice ordered him, Sleep! Arturo quickly closed his eyes. Then Lucifer smiled, adjusted his hat and asked, Which one of you is the leader of this sect of superstitious people? The last thing Spencer heard were screams of terror, screams of pleading, and more screams. Mercy, mercy, please. Cries and more cries until finally silence came. When he opened his eyes again, he was healed and saw Lucifer carefully untying little Arturo, who was still asleep. The cultists' mangled bodies were scattered on the floor, walls, and ceiling. The eyeless, noseless albino head was burning in the fireplace. Spencer thanked the infernal and hugged the boy. Lucifer said to him, Thank you for taking care of him. When Arturo wakes up in a few hours, he won't remember this Christmas. And he comes to trust you. You are the most powerful guardian any chosen one has ever had. The man replied, I'm not his guardian, I'm his father. Tell me the truth. Have you lied to me? Will my son be the Antichrist? Lucifer asked, Does that even matter? If I told you he is, would you have acted differently? Spencer replied, Of course not. He loved my son, and I would die and kill 1,000 times for him. Lucifer smiled and before leaving said, Do you see? Love above all else will always be my favorite weapon. I am the documentalist, and this was Lucifer Heard My Prayers.
Am I good? Hello? How are you? Who's speaking? Where are you calling me from? How are you? Hello, El Documentalista. It's you at last. I'm Sergio from Argentina. Hello, Sergio. How are you? All the groups? Yes. How are you? How are you doing? Good?
What are you? What? How are you? Good? How's it going? How are you? We're with my brother, El Documentalista. Please help us. We messed up.
How? What happened? Let's see. Tell me quickly, what happened? We started
with one of your videos where you talked about the Book of Witchcraft you mentioned. We did some spells, and they worked well for us. Then we bought your book. Mine is right here. In the end, there were other spells. Yeah, some worked, others didn't. But we started to realize that we could do it. We got excited.
Is your brother there with you?
No.
My brother isn't here anymore. My brother left. He left me alone. He left because they bang on the walls. Since we read that book, they bang on the walls. Which night do they bang?
Walls? But what was the last spell they cast? Which one was it? Well, we did it.
For Umbrella?
For
Umbrella is an entity. We didn't know who it was.
Yes, I know.
The book just said umbrella everywhere. Umbrella, umbrella, umbrella. So we started reading it. My brother says that it's something I looked for later. That it hits the walls. It always hits the walls. Subscribe, David Alpha, the tall one, please. Here it comes.
Oh, well.